Welcome to tutorial on how to export information using fixed-width formatting with Pluxbox. In this video, we'll explore the Pluxbox workflows environment, guiding you through the process of installing an integration from the marketplace and creating logic to export data seamlessly. Pluxbox Workflows provides an intuitive interface designed to automate repetitive tasks within your application. In this tutorial, our focus will be on exporting data from a collection to an external system. I already created a data collection named Profiles which contains full names and emails of users. In the Data Explorer, I also have data for 3 different people, their name and their email address. Let's go to the marketplace to install integration for our workflow. For this video, you need to install the fixed-width parser that simplifies the process of moving data between different platforms that require fixed-width formatting. Before creating our workflow, you need to create a volume, so go to Volumes in the Work Data. I'm going to name it Files, and then you should connect your integration to this volume. Go to Integrations, select Fixed-Width Parser, and choose Files for volume. After you did this, go to Workflow Environment. Here, you need to create a new workflow. I'll name it Export Files. For the type, I will put it on mutation. Mutation type workflows are triggered by external factors, usually user interactions. Description type workflows are automatic notifications that record predetermined actions within your database. Scheduled type workflows automate repetitive tasks within specific time frames. For the first step, add a query block, choose Profiles for Collections, and select List. Then add a getData block and connect it to the collection. For the path, right edges. Next, add a reduceList block and connect it to the getData block. For the initial value, put empty array, which means an empty list. Now it's time to add our integration. Select Mutation, and from Integrations, select Fixed-Width Parser. And then select Append to File. Connect the result attribute of the reduceList block to the execute attribute of the fixed-width block. For the path, write testfile_export.txt. Then in the descriptors we need to determine the position of the data. So for the name, I'll set the start to 0 and the stop to 20. You can find these codes in the description of the video. And for the email, set the start to 20 and the stop to 40. Now that we are done, connect the reduceList block also to the datasets attribute. Then, add a console block and connect our logic to it. Don't forget that we need to add blocks inside the reduceList. Start with a getData block. Connect the value attribute to the object, and for the path, write node. Then add a wrapList block to convert data into a list. And for the last step, add a mergeList block. Connect the accumulator to the baseList attribute and the wrapList to the patchList attribute. The reduceList iterates over each element in the list. We want a clean output without the node as key. So we read out the node value for each element in the list, wrap this in a list and merge it with all the previous outputs. Now, we are done with our workflow. Don't forget to save the logic. I'll also turn the debugging on. Now go to Workdata and click on Playground. In here, I'll write a code to trigger the workflow and then download the data. You can find this one in the description of the video as well. The first part is for triggering our workflow, so for the process I choose Export Files. For the integration, I select the File Transfer plugin, which I already had it installed in my environment and connected to our volume. The last part is for downloading the file. For the path, I again write testfile_export.txt. Now that we are done, I click on Display and select triggerProcess. This will trigger our workflow. Then if I select listFiles, I can see that the files exist. Then, I'll select Download Files. If I copy and paste this link, I would see the result. As you can see, the data of the profiles in our collection are exported. Thanks for watching this tutorial.